What's going on, everybody? We are live. We're back. So much to talk about, but you know, I'm debating on if I'm gonna talk or not. But we'll see. All right, let's get started. Cookie the Monster, how you doing? Um, Welcome to the show. Making a pivot. We did a Wednesday before last. Kelsey Hightower came to the meetup. Um, If you didn't get a chance to check that out. We do have a recording of that. We got to go through and probably put some chapters in it, talk through it, so forth and so on. We'll probably release that um under the membership, exclusive for the members. You got to be a member if you're gonna catch that video. Um, and we'll work. I'm in the background working on stuff, of course. And then this past Wednesday meetup, I had posted in the RECSA channel next steps, and those next steps were talking about everything that pretty much came down. All of the um, things came down from the new administration, and then what you should be looking at, and how to pivot. Um, for those that didn't attend, uh, um, we usually go from 8 to 10. I tried to get out of there by 10, but we ended up going to 10:30. And it was just shooting the breeze after that point. But it's really more or less like, if you've never been to one of our meetups is not about who got the biggest bag, who got it's action items that you can implement right now. Like right now. And if you're afraid to get called on, I'm gonna say this too. In the meetups, don't come. If you're afraid to talk, don't come. If you're afraid to say this what I'm trying to do, don't come. Right. And the reason why I say that is I take the meetups as a way for you all to engage outside of the day to day, your the internet struggles, the internet conversations, the things that you do at work or whatever. Like, if you got a vent, come to the meetup the vent. Say, how should I handle this? What should I do? Right. Um, that's the purpose of the meetup. And then on top of that, we also teach, right? But if you want to come by and be fly on the wall and just be like, yeah, I just sit here, I won't interact, you won't learn anything. Just gonna be honest. If you don't interact, you won't learn nothing. All right, back to my off my soapbox. Operation Tech Takeover was going on. D was up. Righteous One was going on. Lambo was going on. Queen Lee, what up? Code and Evelyn, what's going on? Hey, Queen Lee, are you gonna be in Miami the 20th on the 20th and the 21st for Eric's event? Waverly Cakes, what's going on? AKA Petty. How you doing? Madeline, how you doing? He said, I hope you had a good week. Currently 83% completed of the intro to K8s. Then I'll be studying net automation with Python. That's good. That goes along with your Ansible skills. Um, I have a silly question. When you get contracts in other states, do you just extend Airbnb? Nah, I just move, get an apartment, or go get a roommate, or move into a house that's got like an exclusive basement or something like that. It's kind of hard. Um, whatever. Yep, casual calling you out. Let me roll out the petty tea red carpet for you. Traveling east, what's going on? Some jobs coming out of Huntsville. I saw Huntsville lost that $83 million missile contract. Some people finna get some job cuts possibly, but I think they're contesting that. Warren Williams, what's going on? Macamill, how you doing? All right. So I started not to do the show today because I was like, It's not the fact that I don't know what to say. I got a lot to say. South got something to say. But I started not to do the show. Um, I started not to do the show because I was like, I want you all to go take action and go learn, go do these things. No, the meetups are not live, they're online. Meetup.com/woman in Linux, sign up, you'll get alerts and everything. And I was like, well, what do I want to do on the show? Right? How I want to do this show. Because I was talking to D and I was telling her, I was like, some people don't understand. Um, like what's the best way to say it? Okay, so there's a difference here. There are a difference between gatekeepers, haters, and people that want to just see your demise. Does that make sense? Gatekeepers, they just want to block information from you. They just want to keep you out. They don't necessarily want to see your demise. Haters, anything you do is never going to be right. Anything you do. When you shine, they're still mad. When you involve them with your shine, they still mad. And then there's just people out there that just want to tear you down. They want to see your demise. This is just a difference. It's a difference. And then in some instances, at any point in time in your career, you will probably work with all three people at the same time. Gatekeepers, haters, and ones that want to see your demise. But you got to know which one is which. And at any point in time, they could cross over, right? At any point in time, they can cross over. So you got to know what bottle you gonna put them in. When you need them, you rub on the bottle, you pull it, and you come out, right? So you got to know how to handle those people. But the one thing you have to know is you have to know who you are, and you have to know what your skill set is, and you have to know what you can do with your skill set, and where you can go and what you can do. And the only way you're gonna be able to do that is you got to stay 10 toes down in the market, knowing how. And when I say the market, I ain't talking about the stock market. Stock market is one way. Yep, it can also be one person. But the stock, it's not just the stock market. It is the headlines, the what's going on in the different cities, how to stay abreast on where tech is moving, where they're putting money into, right? The like as much as people talk about, they want less government. Everybody say they want less government. Well, what is Elon and them doing? Working with the government. So you know what I mean? Like, you know, you can't listen to you never listen to what people do, you watch what they do. I haven't recorded meetups in some years now, but there's some old recordings out there. So should I fake it or handle how I want to with the reason when it comes to dealing with people? You got listen, and people don't like it when I say this. It is what it is, though. You have to know if if you cut that bridge, do you have something in as a backup to get around it, right? Um in other words, it's, hey, I need to do X, Y, and Z. This person is in the way for me doing X, Y, and Z. So you gotta take a pause for a minute and you gotta say, what are my options that I can go around this person where I don't need this person? Or you have to say, what can I do to get what I need out of that person? You gotta figure that out. And sometimes you may have to play nice to get what you need. And then sometimes You just cut that like a Ginsu knife and keep it pushing. You got to figure that out though. And the issue with figuring out is you can spend a lot of time trying to figure it out, or you can let people reveal who they are, come up with a game plan, and then move around them. The choice is yours. But you gotta know when you make that move, why you making that move, what's the end result, and what you're trying to get out of it. If you make that move because you want to gain $50,000, just know you gaining $50,000, but you might be losing something else. And you gotta ask yourself if that is that worth the loss. Quality over quantity. You guys got. I keep trying to tell you, you got to be strategic. You got to be strategic with your with who you network with in the industry. You got to be strategic with who you bring into your circle, and you got to be strategic with how you move with the people in your circle. Because here's another thing: where you at right now might be okay with those people in that circle, but when you make that shift and that move, somebody might get wonky, somebody might get a little shaky, and now you got to figure out, okay, how do I now move? Because I see them shaky, and look, some people never reveal who they are, and you might be friends with them for 10, 15 years. I'm just trying to tell you what I've seen. I'm just trying to tell you what I know. Some people are not who they say they are, but you won't know that until you make your move. Like they say, you don't want a puppy, you want a big dog. Okay. You don't want you when you go out and you start big dogging it, and you get out there and you like, oh, first you may be in a Camry. Next thing you know, you might be in a Lexus. And then after that, you might be like, you know what, the Lexus is cool, but I think I want me a nice little luxury AMG or Porsche, or I don't know, whatever you feel is like your next level up. Your next level up may be different from somebody else's next level up. But you gotta watch people. You gotta watch them. Whatever they talking about is what they talking about. You gotta watch them though. And that goes for people in your circle, and in particular people in the workplace. You gotta look at them. You gotta know how they move. And when you start seeing how people move, you'll know how to. You'll learn. You'll adjust. One thing about the human mind and the energy that comes into the room, you make adjustments. All right, you make adjustments. Queen Lee, what you say? You said Eric told his boot camp students that he already signed a contract for the venue. He didn't disclose the location. Okay. Hope you got the invite. What's going on, Jay Williams? Oh, glad you had fun. I'm glad you had fun. Cool. You get what I'm putting down. All right, cool. All right, so today's meetup is going to meet up. Today's show is going to be a little different. I'm going to go through some things, and then we're going to talk about some things. When I say we're going to go through a couple of articles. There's a reason for why I'm going through these articles, and then we're going to flip it, and then we're going to do like hands-on. We're going to do some hands-on training today. I'm going to show you how you can ramp up quickly. We're going to look at some jobs. And then from that, you can kind of go on your own and do your own thing. But first things first, let's get into some of this. Let's get into some of these articles. Then we'll roll into some training that's out there. And then we'll go into some jobs, and then we'll do some hands-on training. All in one. All in this 2 hours. I got 2 hours, so you got to move with me. You got to be ready. I'm going to try to time this so we can get out of here. All right, let's get busy. All right, so I'm gonna drop these in the back, and you all can read them for yourselves. Deal put them out there, so that way y'all can have them. But let's get busy. So 10 remote jobs that's paying 143 with full-time benefits. I saw this article. You know my motto. My goal is to get you to 200K. Um, that's my goal. That's at a min. 143, not a bad start to get you started, and then let's push forward after that. If you didn't come to Wednesday's meetup, you guys will be, if I talk government, you're gonna say to me, because I know that's what you're gonna say in the chat to me, because they didn't you see all the opportunities, all the stuff they did with the government to lay off people. Well, that's the GS folks. And I've always said the GS pay less. I ain't really rocking with them. I'm really talking about the folks that are on the contracting side. When I talk about the contracting side, I am talking about your smaller, medium companies. That's what I'm looking at. But you can go with your Raytheons, your Lockheed Martins, your Booz Allens, your Deloittes, so forth and so on. You can go with them all you want. Not saying that they're bad companies. I'm just saying typically they don't pay as much as the smaller contractors when we're talking about that. All right, so I'm gonna go through this, and then I'll run to the job so we kind of stay on topic there. All right, so full-time benefits. Let's see what they're talking about here. With so many opportunities, blah 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 blah, so forth and so on. Okay, it says these jobs pay an annual salary of 143 up to a floor of 360 with full-time benefits. Secure your new remote job and advance your career. Let's just hop down here to the jobs. I don't want to read all of that. Let's go. All right. So here, this is a full-time senior leadership job. Blah, blah, blah. Let me see if they talk about it up here somewhere. Maybe not. Make sure I ain't missed nothing. Okay. Don't look like I missed nothing. Anyway, it is reposted one day ago. Netflix is one of the world's entertainment services. Blah blah blah. The salary is from 360 to 920. I've been talking about these Netflix jobs. They're out there. We're gonna go look at some. We'll go explore different things, but are just throwing it out there, right? The minimum qualifications: 10 years, PhD, MS degree, so forth. Excel at thinking through and solving business problems while leveraging analytics and data science. Again, I always tell you all how to problem solve and use problem solving to come up with solutions and answers, and how to do system thinking. I've spoke on this several times. Let's just go on the chat, and let's define system thinking, and uh, solving problems for IT. Let's look at that way. Let's kind of tune it down there. All right. So again, when looking at this, my prompt was define system thinking. Somebody's going to ask me this question: do I use DeepSeek? If I did, it would be in a VM and not on my local machine, and I will have my GPU pass through to my VM. All right. So again, system thinking is a holistic approach to problem solving that considers interconnections, dependencies, feedback loops within in the IT environment. Instead of treating issues in isolation, system thinking helps IT professionals analyze how different components, hardware, software, networks, security, people, and processes interact to influence outcomes. So you may have that one off problem that you may have may not just be a one off problem. It may be a reoccurring problem across multiple teams or affect multiple customers. So now you have to think holistically how to solve that problem. This is also gearing you up to be a thought leader and also move you into leadership or lead positions. These things don't happen overnight, because problems don't happen overnight. You may run into a problem on Tuesday and you may not see a problem again until a month later. So being always that thought leader and looking how to improve, correct, um, save money, um, build on what you have, increase what you have by adding something to it, stacking your skills. That's why I always say you should practice stacking your skills, right? It's the same concepts here. So some key principles to IT problem solvers as they went down. Interconnected components. IT systems are complex. You guys are using complex systems now. Your telephone, or I should say your cell phone, it is a complex system made of multiple parts to come together to make up a cell phone, have an operating system on it, and then drop applications on there so you can utilize or extend functionality of that phone. You're already working in a DevOps environment if you have a cell phone. I'm gonna explain that to you. You got an edge device that gets updates pushed to it from the operating system, from the security side. You then have applications that are on that device that then get pushed updates to from various vendors. You have applications from Google Authentication to Solitaire to uh, visual, the visual reading of your voicemail messages, and so forth and so on. You have all of that. You are DevOps. You are working in DevOps every single day. You get your cell phone, you look at it, you got some applications that can peek into other areas, that people upload content to, or you're able to go on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. You're able to use WhatsApp to extend even further, that Signal, whatever the case may be. You all are already working in DevOps and doing system thinking every single day. You do it every day. You just don't realize that those same skills that you use, that you have, that you do every day can pay you over $100,000. And you do it every day and you do it freely. You do it every day and you do it freely. Let's go back and walk through it. You get your phone, you charge it up. I have a server. I need to turn it on. That's power. I then look at and see if there are any updates that need to be pushed. Oh, I got an operating system on my server. It needs to have some updates. Those updates could be updates to the operating system, but they also could be security updates. Security updates on your phone, security updates on your server. You're doing it every single day. I have an application, it needs an update. I have an application on here, it needs an update. I need to install an application. There's an application I need to, excuse me, install on that on that server. I mean on that cell phone. I need an application on my server. You do it every single day. You are a DevOps engineer every single day. You are a user facing customer. So, in all of IT, whether you are a manager, you're a CEO of a company, you are producing a product that you want someone to consume and pay you to consume it. User facing, your phone is just a conduit for someone to put something on here, an application for you to utilize, sign your data over to as well, and use those things. You do it freely every single day. You pick and choose what application you want to use as well. If I want to make a phone call, I'm going to pick an application in which I want to make a phone call to, right? Through. So I may use WhatsApp, I may use something else, I may use Line 2, I may use whatever the case may be. And not only do I have multiple applications that I can install to utilize those things, those applications to do what I needed to do, I'm also storing what? Data. I have data stored on my phone. You take a picture, I store data. So over to the server side, let's take it even one step higher. I got a drone that flies over and takes pictures that needs to be stored. And those pictures get stored. And guess what else needs to happen? Those pictures may get stored. I may need to do an analysis on those. I need to brush them up. I may need to store them in a data repository or on a storage node. Same thing on the server side, same thing on your phone side. You are in you're DevOpsing it every single day. You're doing it every day. And if you really want to break it down and start getting to site reliability and observability, we can get into that too. You're also walking data scientists. You're also walking data scientists. You're feeding data every day, right? You're feeding it data every day. You pick and choose what data you want to feed it. You clean your data up. You clean your photos up. You remove those photos. You manage that. You manage your storage. You do it every day. Those skills that you have that you use on your phone are the same exact skills for DevOps engineers that get paid over 100,000 every single day. You just haven't been told and shown how you're doing it. You just haven't been told and shown, hey, I already have the mindset. I just didn't know that I could get paid for it. You just didn't know. You didn't know. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you something that how I know you didn't know. Let me pull this up. Because the stats don't lie. I'm gonna show you this right here. So if you ever want to know why you don't know, I'm gonna give you some data, and then we're gonna figure out how we can correct that data. Right? We get data, but we gotta figure out how we can correct that data. So this data right here, Black people are employed in a variety of industries, including healthcare, retail, and transportation. They're also employed in services, management, and businesses. But what are the ones that we are mostly employed in? Let's go here. This is came out February. I might have accessed it February 20th of 2024, but let's go here because numbers don't lie. All right, so you can't see this too well, but I can. All right, so look at this right here. If you want to zoom in on it, you see it real good. Oh no, you see that right there? It says Negroes, occupations of Negroes and whites in Georgia from the 1900s. That's what it says. All right, so this is a 1950. Let's keep going down here. Doo-doo-doo. All right, so in the percentage distribution of by major annual averages 2000. So I'm assuming later years. Yeah, this is in 2000. So we're talking about in 2000. We're primarily in service, operators and laborers, administrative support and clerical, professional specialty, executive, administration and managerial, sales, fishing and farming, technicians and related support. They're like 3% right there. That 3% right there. Right. So now we're in 2023, 2 years ago. Professional, service, management, and financial, office administrating, transportation, sales related, here production, construction, installation and repair, and farming and forestry. 21% over here, 21.5% there, and so forth. And then it breaks it down here by if you really want to look at occupational group, laborers, operatives, kindred workers, laborers, private household workers, service workers, farmers. I'm gonna stop there at farmer. But our top things that we are involved in, right? The top things that we are involved in are all things that are service related, right? I got to do something with my hands, something that's back breaking, something that calls carpal tunnel, something heavy lifting, a drive, a move. We're sitting for extended periods of time. Those things. That's what we're involved in. We just have to have a mindset shift. But in order to have that mindset shift, you're going to have to leave the haters, the shapeshifters. You're going to have to watch them, but you might have to leave them behind too. And you may have to leave some of your family members behind because they just don't have the mindset to rock with you. They don't have the mindset to prop you up, and they don't have the mindset to know where you're going. I ain't saying you got to cut them off. I'm just saying you just may have to, like, you know what? I'm going to have to put you over here in this compartment. And when I feel like playing with you, I pull you out. People do it all the time. All right. When we get down here to professional, technical, and kindred workers, 3.6%. When we talk about sales, it's 1.5. So technically speaking, we don't even have the mindset that we should have so we can have a large amount of people going into tech. Now, here's where people are going to come back and say, Tamika, you don't know what you're talking about. In Atlanta, we big in tech. Oh, well, step outside. Go to Miami. Go take your ass over to Mississippi. Go out west. Go Midwest. We are not the same. We live, and I'm from Atlanta, so I can talk. You live in a it's a bubble. I would even call Houston a bubble. I would even call DC a bubble. You gotta get out of the mindset of what I see around me. That's what it is. Because that's not what it is. What you see around you, you get it in the mindset of like, oh, this how everybody is living. Oh, this how everybody is rocking. Oh, this what they do. Because you haven't traveled, because you haven't moved out, you got to go out outside the parameters of your city. You got to step out, get in the car, go drive. Get in the car, go see how other blacks are living in other cities. Go to rural Georgia and tell me what you see. Go down to rural Georgia. Go backwoods, like me and D was driving backwoods, coming up, fleeing for the hurricane. It's different. It's different. Different thought process, different way of living is different. Service occupations is what we do. That's and let's be clear. Service occupations is what we do, but it's also killing us. Nurses are quitting left and right. They can't maintain it forever. Their body's getting broken down. Their mental health thing ain't there. And then don't get me wrong, in tech, it's a whole mental game. That's why you gotta be sharp. You gotta read, stay sharp, and be ready. And people are like, well, it takes effort to be ready. That's so exhausting, and so this and so that. It takes effort to get up every day and be ready. It takes effort every day to get up and be ready to walk out the door, go sit in traffic, go fight, go drive, go get you some gas, go get you something to eat, go figure out what you're going to eat, how much it's going to cost you, how much is gas cost, where do I need to go, what lane should I drive in? When I get there, where I'm going to park at. Once I park, how far I got to walk. What's on the agenda today? Did somebody wake up in a bad mood? Who in a bad mood? Are they going to come dump it on me? What I got to do to protect myself? Where I got to go? What I'm going to do for lunch? The shit is exhausting. Trust me, I get it. I get it. I'm with you. Then you get to work, and then you got a bunch of haters at work. You got a bunch of haters. You got a bunch of the people that don't want to see you. They don't want to see you win. They want to see themselves win, but they don't want to see you win. But they want to use you so they can win. You got to know who you fooling with. You got to know how to move. It all takes effort. It all takes effort. So you got to be strategic in your moves. If I make this move, what does this mean? If I do this, what does this mean? That mental mindset that we got to have. I keep trying to tell y'all. They keep telling y'all not to go to college, but they send their kids to college. They keep telling y'all, you don't need a degree to get in tech. But when you get in there, everybody you fooling with got degrees. The managers got degrees. You got to understand what's happening. Mindset shift got to happen. Whatever that administration got going on, you got to figure out, okay, now what can I do? That's what I talked about on Wednesday. Where you got to stick? What lanes to move in? If I'm telling you the DOD is about to get $1 trillion in 2026, I ain't moving. That's who I'm rocking with. If I'm telling you that, I'm watching it. If I'm telling you, I did this Wednesday, Intel, DOD, stay there. You're golden. We don't have no cloud without infrastructure. We don't have a cloud without Linux. We don't have a cloud without Linux infrastructure, networking, and power. Pick one of those fields and go in them. Yeah. MJ Cannabis, I ain't seen the AI jobs with no degrees that paying 500, 600,000. I just ain't seen them. Now, I tell you now, you can get the help desk job with no degrees. You might can get the Linux admin jobs with no degrees. But if they tell folks, if they trying to bring immigrants in and wipe out part of the GS population that's been working there and the government jobs, and they got degrees and they've been sitting on the degrees and they've been working, and then they come to the contracting side, you best believe that those folks are going to come and start looking for jobs. They got tribal knowledge. They know people, but you sitting over here and they telling y'all, nah. I ain't going to school. Go to a community college. Take your general ed, go to a community college. Once you get down with a community college, you should be networking the whole time you're there. You should also be working on an internship or an apprenticeship. Go get your degree. What degree should I get my degree in? I have already told you. I am a fan of computer engineering. So much so, this person kind of like, they proved my point, but it proved my point. It low-key proved my point. What was he on? Was he CNBC? What is the show where they go over the careers? Hold on. Hold on. I'll find it. I'll find it. Right here. Yeah, it was that. All right, cool. So much so, I'm just going. I don't have no reason to lie to you. I just think, just personally, I just think computer engineering just makes it easier to move around. So here it is, right here. This guy right here. He is 39. He's living in Dubai on 185,000. Once you go into the video a little bit more, he he got 3.5 million in his portfolio, but he worked his way through. He did his degree is in computer engineering. I'll just kind of breeze through here. He's 40, living in Dubai on 185. He got his portfolio. Let's see right here. He retired after accumulating 3.5 million in investments and savings. Let me see if they got any more words that come up. All right, here we go right here. And back up. All right here. What he pay himself every month? I think it's yeah, right here. 9,000. Then we got the breakdown right here. His rent is 4,500. Wellness and fitness 29. I can't see the other one. I gotta turn off closed captioning real quick. Okay, it don't have nothing right there. Food 2,100. Discretionary, whatever. And I guess when I go on, it'll tell me what those other ones are. Right. 743 for transportation. He does not have a car. He has a car service. 267 for insurance, and then 97 for subscriptions. But the bulk of his money is going out towards living in Dubai in a probably in a condo, in a high-rise condo over there. All right. And then let me continue on. And I should review it real quick, but let me go right here. So in 2002, he attended Tennessee Tech University on a full ride scholarship. He looks so different. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in computer engineering and a minor in mathematics. Mr. Nix, at least Western WGU plus Microsoft Ignite plus Microsoft Architect and AI Search. Get the money. Hey, I'm trying to tell them. I'm trying to show you. Right? And here's the other thing. They put me on the big screen. This is what we need. I need more black men that are smart in math. I need y'all to be working with these young cats. I ain't talking about the 21-year-olds. I'm talking about the ones in elementary and high school. That's what I need for y'all to be doing. You know what? You know what I need for y'all to do? I need for y'all to pull them aside and start working with them on math and start working with them on reading comprehension. There's no way in the world we should be that far behind. Listen, you can argue with me all you want to, but if the girls are learning math and outpacing and outrunning the boys, you can't, there's no way that your little girl is going to have a little boy the same age as him. This is why, listen, people want to argue with me about this. It's this going to be controversial. I don't care. Some people may drop from this live when I do this and when I say this, but I'm so tired of seeing everybody tell, and they used to tell me this too, growing up. If you really want a man, you need to go find you a man at least 10 years older than you. I don't want to go find a man 10 years older than me when I'm 18. I don't want to go date a 30-year-old. Why can't date the guy my same age? Because he ain't established enough. He ain't there yet. Well, why the hell he ain't there yet? Hell, I had to get up and go to school every day. Hell, I had to get up and go take math every day. I don't give a damn about what nobody talking about. I don't want to date a 30-year-old, and I'm 18. He more established. He ready for a family. Well, why the hell he ain't one ready at 18? Now he want to take my little young life and be ready. Hell, I'm tired of it. And then if you drop off this line for it, fuck it. This is how I feel. I need more black men working with young brothers with math. That's what I need. And if they struggling, it need to be a conglomerate of black men or tutors or what have you working. I hear you. I hear him and talk out there university. I hear that. I hear you. You ain't got time. Create a course if you ain't got time. You go volunteer to go to these daggone meetups and drag shows and car shows and events and all of that. Go do that part. Help them out with math. It is the fundamentals to getting through physics. You're not going to get through physics if you don't understand Cal 1 and Cal 2. You're not going to understand anything else without math. I need algebra. I need trig, pre-algebra, geometry. Why we don't know how to find the area of a rectangle or the area of a triangle? Why we don't know what the hypotenuse is? Why we don't know how to find the area of a circle? Why we don't know these things? Your assignment is make sure they understand math, because without math, there's no computer engineering, and you really hang up computer science. There's no math without it. You're not going to understand what L'Hopital's rule is. I need for y'all to be on that. That's what separates us. It's that math. The math don't be mathing. That's what separates us. If we ain't I'm telling you, computer, you most definitely can hang up electrical engineering. You can't do computer engineering. You can't do electrical, mechanical, and fluids. Hang it up. Dynamics and fluids. Hang it up. Fluid dynamics and fluid engineering. Study how liquids and gases flow. Aerodynamics and hydrodynamics. Where's this fit into? Climate, health, sports, interacting with solids, computational fluids, mechanical engineering. You just it ain't no way. Get behind the math. Understand how it works. You can even download, you can even put, even Linux has like math tutorials for calculus and so forth. Get with it. You can go do this all at the community college. They even have summer programs at some of the community colleges for high school students. I'm just looking it up, right? Here, just out off the rip, just who got math camps and summer and math programs. And then you'll say to me, hey, I can't afford that. I can't afford it. Now we got to start working on how we can afford scholarships. We got to start working on grants. We got to start getting together in communities. Your little boy play with another little boy. Your little girl play with another little girl. Take the four of them, wrap them up, talk to the mothers and the fathers, and wrap them up and send them to a math camp. Let them all come out together. Let them all come out with A's. Let them all come out and go to Harvard or go to Yale or go to HBCU. Pick one. Spelman, Morgan, whatever. Why can't we be producing more engineers? We produce doctors and lawyers. We should be producing more engineers. I'm telling you, don't let them fool y'all and think that you're gonna be a CEO with no degree. The only way you're gonna be a CEO with no degree if you create a company. $25 math summer programs for high schoolers in 2024. College Fine got some. Some are applied math programs. What's the one? What's the guy? Khan Academy, Udemy. Hell, some parents need to go take some math classes so you can be sharp, so you can help them out. Go, don't be afraid because of your age to go sit in a class with an 18-year-old and learn geometry. Because you gonna feel like I'm here with an 18-year-old, and I'm gonna feel like Tamika gonna feel like you here because you gotta be here and you about to do greater things. Don't let your age stop you from being great because you want to go sit in a class, because you got to go sit in a class with an 18-year-old. So what? Sit in that class with that 18-year-old and go learn. When I went back to school, I dropped out. I had dropped out and went back. I didn't even understand how to use. I didn't even understand how to use PowerPoint and Excel. By the time I went back to school, Word Perfect was a thing for me, and they had done advanced to PowerPoint. And then when did PowerPoint come out? PowerPoint came out. It said it was released on the Macintosh in 1987 for the Macintosh, and Microsoft bought PowerPoint 3 months later for $14 million. 14 million. That's how much they bought it for. And then in 88, Macintosh and Windows included color and spell checking. And in 1990, PowerPoint was released and became part of the first version of Microsoft Office in 1990. So by the time I had graduated, we weren't doing no PowerPoint. And it said in 1992, PowerPoint 3.0 was released and introduced in a virtual slideshow. So really in 92. So yeah, by the time I graduated, there wasn't no PowerPoint. There wasn't no PowerPoint. So me going back to school in 97, that was new. That was new. So again, when I went back to school, I'm sitting in school in a office class and I'm looking at everybody around me, and it was so funny. True story. I used to sit in Georgia State and play spades, and would skip classes because I was playing spades. I was winning money playing spades. I would play tunk. I would win money playing tunk. I would skip class. And I had a scholarship. So I know. I partied and squandered away opportunities. I'm telling you. So when I went to my office class, one of the guys that I used to play spades with from New York was sitting in the class. And me and him got to talking. He's like, "What you been doing with yourself? What you been doing?" I said, up here doing my thing, blah, 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 blah. And at the time, I was engaged to be married. Woody, woody, woo. I'm in the class. I'm reading the book and what we got to do, click on stuff, because I was like, I'm determined. I'm not gonna be scared of the computer no more. you're not gonna get me out here and catch me basically not knowing nothing with my hand in the cookie jar. You're not gonna catch me like that. So then I was sitting in class, and this very same dude that used to talk so much shit, he used to talk so much shit. He was sitting in there, and he was in the class, and he was like, "Hey, help me figure this out." I was like, "Dude, I'm trying to figure it out for myself." He's like, "Well, can I shadow you? Or can you just do it for me?" I'm like, "Do it for you? We ain't like that. I ain't gonna do your homework and mine." I was like, "It's easy to learn. It tell you if here's the other thing that we don't like to do. We don't like to read. We want the cliff notes. Can you just tell me what I need to do? Why you just can't tell me? Because you can motherfucking read it. It's right there in front of you. Step 1, double click. It's right there. We won't read. We're getting slaughtered. We won't do math and we won't read, but we want to make 500,000. Put that together. We don't want to read and we don't want to take math, but we want 500,000. Hey, let me tell you something. Get closer. It ain't gonna work. That's not how it works. It ain't gonna work. You're gonna have to read. You're gonna have to study. You're gonna have to put in some time. You're gonna throw some books. You're gonna cry a little bit. You're gonna be up in arms. You're gonna be shaking in your boots. But on the other end of that, after you get through all of that, 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, own a company, bought a couple of houses, bought a couple of lots, international travel, 2 passports. Over here, let me donate. Over there, let me start a scholarship. Over there, let me build out this land. Over there, let me buy a couple of acres. Over there, let me help these kids get to school. That's the end. Then you're going to look back at you throwing that book and you was like, I just frustrated my own damn self. I just need to get up and walk away and come back. I need to understand the process. I need to understand it's a journey. I need to understand I might be that kid that need that extra hand holding. I might be that human that need to take that class and set up appointments outside of that. I might be that person that need to schedule some extra time. I may need to read before we start class. So I have the syllabus. Let me go ahead and read before we get there. Let me go ahead and line up the tutor because when I read it, I didn't understand it. And I went back again and I didn't understand it. So I know I'm going to have trouble there. Let me go ahead and prepare so I can be already ready. So when they're talking about it in class, I can ask the question, hey, I had trouble understanding that, but when I did this and applied this, it all made sense. Not everybody in the class looking at you because everybody does it. You're a know-it-all. Why you always raising your hand to offer something? Hey, I'm offering to make sure I understand. I don't care about you don't want to understand it for yourself, but you ain't gonna stop me. I paid my tuition. I'm paying this teacher. I want this teacher to make sure I know what I'm talking about. And if I don't know, correct me where I'm wrong. This is what I understood it to be. Is that correct? Because that's how I understood it. Now, if it's something different, can you point me out to where that is, where it says that, so I can make sure I understand it? Because when it come up on the test, I don't want to be blindsided. Raise your hand. Sit in the front of the class. Ask them questions. You paying them, but you don't want to ask no questions. You showing up every week, but you don't want to ask no questions. I don't know what that teacher be talking about. If you can't understand the teacher, drop the class, go get you another teacher. Find somebody you can understand. I'm just saying. Don't quit. The minute you quit, the minute you regret, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna be like, damn, I done put in 3 years, but I'm gonna drop out. I'm supposed to graduate next year, but I'm gonna drop out. Find a way. What is it you need? You need money? What you need somebody to talk to? You need somebody to tell what you need. Need somebody to shove you down to the classroom? Somebody need to come pick you up, put your clothes on, drag you out, go take you to class? What you need? You gonna get this degree. You gonna get this work. You gonna go out here and get this money, and you gonna keep it. There's no reason why you should not be making 100K. I'm showing you, I'm telling you, I'm showing you the way to do it. This is what we need to. All right. Get the teaching the math. All right. The next job, because it's how it all started, at 143,000. They have his managing director with a Boston-based consulting group. That job, Boston-based consulting group is paying $255 to $345. Comprehensive bonus package. Black Lock Group. 10 years of experience in business valuation and a bachelor's degree. And it didn't say or, it said and. Need to have a proven track record, and that's the other thing too. If you don't have the degree, you're going to have the years of experience in the industry. And if you don't have the years of experience in the industry, you're going to have to do something that's going to make you stand out. What are you going to do to make you stand out? What are you going to do even if you got a company that's going to make you stand out? How do you stand out above the others? What does your track record look like? Do you show up to meetings on time? Are you putting together what they need? Are you listening to the customer? Are you giving them what they need in a timely fashion? If you need help, ask for help. Don't sit by and wait idle until it's the last minute. Next one is a global account director, 244K to 434. This is over at Adobe. The time is now. If y'all don't see what's going on, you better get busy. You don't see what's happening, you about to be locked out. Director with the Miles Group, as if we're not already somewhat locked out of certain things. So we'll talk about that. 180 to 250K. National Director with Bayer, 179 to 269. Director and with Corning Incorporated, HR Data Governance, 173 to 237. Minimum qualifications are 12 years in data management to include data governance, quality analytics. And you could probably get away with that with a degree. You could probably get away with this with a degree and some type of data engineering, a data engineering course that you could take that will give you that training as well too. Go work at a job for about 3 or 4 or 5 years, 3, 4. Have your degree, have the proven track record, always contributing, always showing up, always talking at conferences to do X, Y, and Z. Go be a consultant if you don't want to work for somebody else. But if you consult, somebody got to know your track record. What does that look like? Have you proven it? Have you shown that you can do it? Do you have references? If somebody asked you right now, you're a consultant, do you have a reference of showing that you was able to do X, Y, and Z and you helped this person? What does that look like? Are you ready to scale? Say you do get a contract. Let's say you do get a government contract. Let's say you do get that. Do you know how to scale? Do you have the network to help you scale? Do you know the right people? Do you know how to qualify a person? Do you know how to qualify a person? If I shot you a job description right now, you was like, my homie is looking for work. Are you sure your homie got the skills? It ain't gatekeeping. You just want to know if your homie got the skills. Hey, bro, come in. Let me holler at you for a second. Let's do this one-on-one and get you ready for this interview. All right. I pulled up some questions and so forth. Let's walk through this. And I need for you to share your screen too. And I need for your camera to be on. See, some of y'all want it, but you don't want to do what it takes to be ready when it comes your way. Because you got to read. You got to put in time. You got to put in effort. This shit don't come overnight. I didn't get here overnight. I got here because I was sitting in the room for hours, the whole weekend. My weekend started on Thursday night. I'm going to go to work Friday, but when I get home, as soon as I walk through the door, I'm in the room. I'm looking. I'm like, ooh, I should try this. Ooh, I'm eating at my desk. I'm pushing that to the side. It's got to figure that out. Why'd it come up like that? I don't even know. Frustrating yourself, mad at yourself, walk away, come back. I'm asking the screen share because I'm telling you, I want to see if you know these commands. That's why I'm asking you to screen share. Sometimes you'll get in interviews and it's a live coding session. But I think then I kind of stopped that now since you had Chat GPT and Stack Overflow. I think people don't stop the live coding sessions. I think they doing take homes now. They like screw that. People can use Chat GPT, but then some people may still do live coding sessions. I haven't seen that recently in the interview process. They figure once you get in a position, you either know it or you don't. But if you don't know, your ass better read. You better start looking at Confluence. You better get on Chat GPT. You better sign up for some classes. You better be automatic with your answers. You got to be sharp. You got to be sharp like that iceberg that sunk the Titanic. Sharp. Next one, senior director at GE Health, executive, and these look like they were all executive positions. But check this out. This why I always crack up at. This is why I crack up at the titles. Now this one says an executive director with the College Board, and they pay 152 to 220. You can go get that in DevOps all day, and not even be an executive. You could be a senior or staff and get that all day. You can get that all day. Human resources operations lead with City Block Health, 146 to 232. On the DoD side, you can get that all day and not even be an executive. This is what I be talking about with titles, right? Principal content designer at Yahoo, 143 to 299. So this is why I always be telling y'all, y'all be looking at the titles. Oh, that person over there is a senior DevOps engineer, but they work for a company that's only paying them 100,000 as a senior. I'm just telling you. Worry about what the pay is, and here's another thing. Let me tell you something about contracting that I've learned in the years that I've been working it. Put me on the big screen, D. And the Queen League, you can vouch for this. Let me tell you something about what I learned about contracting. All right. So if you are the person that is going after the contract and you need people to come in, right? Let me tell you something. These titles, if I'm going after the contract, I can make my own damn title. I don't know if y'all know that or not. I can make a title be whatever I want it to be under my contract. If I say, you know what I need? I think I need me a principal chief engineer. That's what I'm titling it, is a principal chief engineer. If I need principal Scooby Doo, I can make it principal Scooby Doo. If I need the Shaggy Roo, the staff Shaggy Roo, I can make it staff Shaggy Roo. I can make it be whatever you. I can make it do what it do. Yeah, you know. I can make. Let me feel your wrist. I can make it do what it do. Yeah, I can do what I can make it do what I do. Don't get caught up on the titles. Is my point. Because I can make it do what it do. Yeah, I can make it be whatever. And that's something that y'all gonna have to get in your mind. Like, oh, who came up with these titles? Somebody came up with them. Righteous one say you stay late, MB. All right. So now we talked about the 143, and you can see on that list, that's why I pulled it up. The jobs ain't really paying 143, they paying more than that. All right. So now I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna go back to jobs, but I want to get this out here before we get down too far down in there. So NVIDIA, a lot of y'all be asking about how do I go about training this, that, and other. Every GPU or Intel company, when I shouldn't say Intel, microchip company, has a set of training, right? Intel has theirs. NVIDIA has theirs. Broadcom has theirs. But I pulled this up for you today so you can see how the training is broke out at NVIDIA. Hopefully I can make this bigger. Yeah. So for those of you that want to be developers, you can go down the side of developers. Accelerated computing, cybersecurity and fraud detection, data science, deep learning, edge computing, generative AI and LLMs or large language models, NVIDIA AI enterprise, and so forth. And for those of you that are admins, networking falls under the administration, infrastructure, accelerated computing, data center overview, data center, and cloud infrastructure for generative AI, LLMs, NVIDIA AI enterprise networking, and so forth. So I played around with this and I was going through this. So I'm gonna click on infrastructure and generative AI. And here's how the classes are broken out. So for an overview, for a self-paced, for a basic, from basics to generative AI practice, it is a 2-hour course for free. And I'm gonna click on that. Oh, I may have to log in. Let me see. It's gonna take me there. Yeah, access denied. I gotta log in. But here is the self-paced course for that. If you want to do NVIDIA AI is instructor led, it is $3,500 for instructor led. What I was trying to figure out is the courses prereqs, but I'll go back and log in, but I'll send you this link for it. NVIDIA AI operations and public training, 44 hours. professional AI certification, 90 minutes, $400. That's the certification. The certification for this right here for professional AI certification is 90 minutes, $400. You can also take this self-paced course on AI infrastructure and operation fundamentals, and then you can go take the exam for 1 hour for $135. If you want to do the networking side, here's the self-paced course right here and recommended training. Let me come down here. So NVIDIA has what they call NVIDIA AI Enterprise. NVIDIA AI Enterprise has other courses and working with. So I'm working with NVIDIA Enterprise. So I'm showing you all how you all can go get these things and add them and pad them to your resume. Spend time with them. I actually was gonna today. I was gonna do a semi course. I was gonna do some training today. I don't know. We'll see. I'll let you know in a minute how I'm feeling on that. But then gets into instructor led workshop with NVIDIA DGX, SuperPod administration, so forth. And they have a description of each one of these. Let me see if I can go back and find the descriptions here, because here it just gives the course breakdown, but that ain't what I want. I may have to refresh. Let me look. Let me see if I click on this, will it take me there? Yeah, it's still giving me denied. Let me keep this. I'm gonna put this over. When get this to, and I'm gonna put this over here on my other page, and then I want to go back. Oh, you know what? I know why I don't have it here. It's because I cut and paste just this here, and I was actually. This is actually. It was on my other. This is on my other computer. That's why I'm like, why it's not? Because I did this on my other computer. That's why. But you get the gist. Here is the NVIDIA Enterprise. And let me blow this up. You could barely see it, but they just talk about the use cases here for cybersecurity, computer vision, ML ops, AI applications, so forth, so predictive maintenance, all those things. Working at the edge. I'm in presentation mode, so that's why it's flipping through it here. And I don't see. Yeah, I can't make it bigger than that. I'm sorry. But self-paced courses, they have fundamentals, AI infrastructure and operations, fundamentals for 7 hours for $50. AI infrastructure operations certification, you can take it for 135. They have data center management made easy with NVIDIA. They also have the instructor-led courses right here that you see right here in purple that can lead to professional AI certifications, AI infrastructure certification, and AI operations. They have the public training for 3,500. And here we go. It is all instructor-led workshops and so forth. NVIDIA AI Enterprise, base command, so forth. And I'll do a deeper dive on these so y'all can understand these things. But I just want to point these things out. Let me make it smaller for myself again. So again, computer vision and video analytics. If you scroll through, content generation, and then everything that's associated with content generation. And then here, if you want cybersecurity, digital fingerprint with Morpheus, that class is 1 hour and it's free. And then you have an instructor led course that's $500 on building AI based cybersecurity pipelines for 500. And then build deep learning based anti fraud applications and so forth. Now, I looked at all of this and I said, okay, Tamika, where else can you go with this? What else can I do with this for free? Right? What else can I do with this for free? So then I got to I was like, okay, well, what if I went here? I'm on my Google Cloud instance, and I want to get a free cloud account. You can go get a free cloud account. Once you get that free cloud account, you can come over here and you can select the GPU. Here's an NVIDIA T4. Here's all the different NVIDIAs that they have. Say you want one GPU for your VM. Again, get the free account because you can see over here is $204 for this. Let me just make this broad screen right here. So, all right, so it's $204 for this, and then you can take me off too. I could probably make it a little bigger. All right, yeah, that's better. Let me make it a little smaller now. All right, so if I oops, let me get my mouse over there. All right, there we go. Much better. All right, so here 204 for right. And they tell you what you're paying for the T4 and so forth and the discount. All right, and then oh man, go back create, and I'm gonna go over here to GPU. Now over here on the side, they changed their how you look at it. They used to be underneath, but now I can click over here and I can look at my operating system that I want to use. So over here, I'm going to change my operating system. I'm not going with Debian. I am going to go with Red Hat. It's a method to my madness. Just bear with me. I'm going to do my pay as you go. I'm going to bump this up a little bit. I'm just going to make it 100 gigs. Let me see advanced configuration. If I want to use a custom name, I can change this name to I'll leave that instance there. Now I'll say I'll put OC on the end, and I'll hit select there, right? And then if I want to do networking, I want to networking on Google Cloud. I'm on Google Cloud. This is where you allow your traffic, HTTP or HTTPS or whatever you want to do there. And then observability. If I want to install an ops agent, remember everything you install, you pay for. Security. If I want to enable confidential computing, those that don't understand confidential computing, I'm going to give you a brief summary real quick. If I want to encrypt data while I'm doing computational or crunching or anything, I will enable confidential computing. So there's encryption at rest and encryption in motion and encryption in computation. So as I'm crunching through data, as I'm crunching through X, Y, and Z, this is what that means. Now I'm not gonna do all that, but I'm gonna leave my TPM on because there's a method to my madness. And then advanced, I want to give it a label, I can give it a label. But for right now, let's go ahead and create. I'm gonna turn this off though. All right, so it's creating. Right now, while it's creating, let's get out of my big screen mode. We're going to, and this is something that I've started to do today. I may still do it. I may throw up a go-to meeting a little later on tonight, and we'll walk through this. But I am working on microshift from Red Hat. So let me blow this up. So I wanted to use NVIDIA GPU to install really micro shift at the edge to do edge computing and walk through building my own LLM to do some work that I wanted to do. And my use cases that I am looking at is creating my own LLM for one, resume building, two, for job searches. So I want to customize and have my own LLM, in particular for women in Linux, and produce LLMs for women in Linux for job searches, for LLMs for our videos that we already have out there. It's just something I've been having on my mind, and I was like, how can I utilize certain things? I actually have a a Mac a iMac Mini that I'm gonna put this on and go from there. You all, I don't know, you may think I'm crazy or whatnot, but this is just something I want. So what is microshift? That's the first thing first. What is microshift? And everybody's gonna ask that question, what is microshift? So let's go down the red hat hole on what is microshift. All right, so that we talked about that. All right, it's done building. We'll log into that. But here we go right here. All right. This was published 2023. I'll copy the URL. You can all play with it and learn for yourselves. Hold on. I'm posting it. All right, I'm gonna go up and read these. Somebody say, please do some training. Let's see. All right, cool. All right, cool. I'm just going through. All right, I'm back. Let me put myself back on screen so I don't look so crazy. Here we go. All right, so Microsoft OpenShift, Microshift from Red Hat. Red Hat build of Microshift is a lightweight Kubernetes container orchestration solution built with the edge capabilities of Red Hat OpenShift, right? And is based on open source community projects by the same name as part of the Red Hat device edge. It has purposely built minimal footprint, combining an enterprise ready distribution of Microshift, which runs atop an edge optimized operating system from Red Hat Enterprise. Pause there. Pause there. Okay. The reason why I'm pausing there is because now we're going to shift and look at RHEL system tuning. And I'm doing all this is free now. I'm doing all this is free now. So let's look at performance tuning from Red Hat. There's 149. So let me look down here. So your storage, networking. I'm looking on the side down here. I see clusters. Let me look. No, that's not what I want. So let me go here. Right here. This is what I want. So you can take your RHEL 9, which I just installed on that Google Cloud node, and I can literally walk through here, and this is where reading comes into play for you all. Okay, this is where reading comes into play. So we got an abstract here, and it's saying, okay, tune your workstations on RHEL for real-time kernel to achieve low latency and a predictable response time on latency sensitive applications. Perform real-time kernel tuning by managing system resources, measuring latency between events, and recording latency for analysis on applications with strict determinism requirements. All right, so then they go through Red Hat documentation, and then we hop down here to Red Hat kernel. So now we're going to get into tuning the kernel. So back in the day, you used to have to download the kernel from kernel.org. I don't know if you all are familiar with kernel.org. And you can go download the stable version of whatever kernel that you want. And then you take and download this kernel, you put it on your Red Hat system. You go in and you have to download your GCC compiler. You have to download all your compilers and everything, because what you're going to do is recompile that kernel. You're going to take out all the bloatware. Most of the stuff that you get from Red Hat and most of the stuff you get for Ubuntu, if you do not choose minimum install, is a bloated kernel, meaning I could take, if I need Wi-Fi on a server, is the modules, the drivers are already installed. But if I got a server that's sitting at the edge, I don't need Wi-Fi drivers on those. So I can remove those. So you're tuning and you're recompiling your kernel. Typically, you need the kernel, the source kernel, and everything, so you can remove modules, so you don't have such a bloated kernel. And that is what we're looking at doing here. All right. So now let's go back over here. They talk about for most applications running under a Linux environment, basic performance tuning can improve latency sufficiently. For those industries where latency must be low, accountable, and predictable, Red Hat has a replacement kernel that can be tuned so that latency meets those requirements. The RHEL for real-time kernel provides seamless integration with RHEL 9 for offering clients the opportunity to measure, configure, and record latency times within their organization. So a real-time operating system at the edge, right? So again, we're talking about I got a phone. I'm going to put a RTOS on there, real-time operating system on there. It is not going to be as bloated, but it's going to come with some drivers, because remember, I got to have a kernel that talks back to the hardware. For those that are new, when I say the kernel is your bread and butter, understanding how an operating system works is your number one thing, especially if you're working in infrastructure. Let me pull up a kernel. We'll do OS. And then I'm going to look for an image. And then this is really the most simplistic one that I like to use from Wikipedia. That is the most simplistic one right here. So on your phone, you have CPU, you got memory, you got something else. Then you got a kernel that ride along top of that. Now that kernel says, hey, I got some hardware under here that you need to have access to, and I'm going to allow you to have access. So that's why I'll go back to the original conversation about kernel.org. That kernel that you have on your Linux box, on your Windows box, on your phone and so forth, that kernel allows you to talk to that hardware. And then we make it better for you by throwing an operating system with a GUI on top of that, so you can interface with it. Some type of UI that goes on top of that, so you don't feel so bad with interacting with the devices or interacting with the Linux boxes. So now your applications get installed on that operating system or on that device, that know, and that kernel, that once they get installed, it knows those applications know how to interact with that kernel down to that hardware. That is what's happening. That's why I tell y'all work in infrastructure every day. You work in Linux every day. You are DevOps engineers every day. Remember now, DevOps is a framework. However, you do it every day. You're a security engineer every day. Do you walk around giving people your social security number and access to your bank account every day? Just a random stranger you just walk up to and say, my social security number is 1 2 3 4 4 4 5. I mean 4 5 1 2 1 2. Do you do that? No, you don't. You don't walk around every day. You walk around in secure mode and every day. You walk around as an encrypted hard drive every day. Every day. And those are translatable skills. You do not walk around like that. All right. So now let's go back over here. All right, tuning guides. So let me make it so I can read it a little better here. All right. And yeah, I like that one. All right, so you can see for me. So tuning guide, walking through an iterative process, so forth, build and measure mechanism into your application. It is very tempting to make multiple changes in the tuning variables between test runs, but doing so means that you do not have a way to narrow down what actually worked, what combination actually worked. Right. So again, tools available. The tuner tool makes it easy to change processor affinities for threads, interrupts, thread priorities. If you don't know what a thread is, you will learn that in computer science and engineering. You got to know what thread is, right? What a thread is. All right. The tasket and the chart commands utilize, and these are we're going to learn these as we go. So in here, they have if you look down here on the side, and I make sure I go back up to the table of contents. That'll probably be easier if they had one. Oh, I do this. Let's do this. Let's download the PDF. And then let's make this bigger. There we go. All right, so real time tuning. They give you some guidelines, and then they walk through scheduling policies for real time, setting persistent kernel tuning parameters, application tuning, setting BIOS parameters for system tuning, runtime verification on the real time kernel, right? Running and interrupting hardware and firmware latency tests. Again, your firmware could be old and not have the latest update, so your system is not optimized and so forth, right? So these are all the things here when we're talking about system tuning, right? I want to system tune my actual operating system for the edge. Not only that, I also want to run something lightweight. Where is my something lightweight, right? So it has Red Hat Device Edge is a purposely built minimum footprint combining an enterprise rated distribution of Microchip, which runs on top of an edge optimized operating system built from Red Hat. Microchip brings the power and the scalability of Kubernetes to the edge as a natural extension of an OpenShift environment, allowing applications to be written once and run right where they're needed, next to the data source or the end user. Essentially, it's Kubernetes but tiny. Who is Microchip for? Microchip greatest strength is its size or lack thereof, while OpenShift itself can be small. Microchip is even smaller and therefore can be placed in highly space constrained spaces and run on extremely low power hardware at most remote locations, all the while enjoying the benefits of Kubernetes and allowing teams to continue their existing use of tools. The consistency of Microchip bring allows the focus to remain on innovation rather than adopting new processes and architectures for various parts of the cloud environment. For from core to the cloud to the edge, right? That's what you're getting with Microchip. And then they talk about where does it live and so forth. Now, with that being said, I know I'm not gonna have enough time to do this, but the goal, I may do it this afternoon, is to take Microchip and install Microchip on my either I install it on my my machine here out in Google Cloud, or I'll take and update this actual the actual iMac Mini and put microchip on an iMac Mini behind a VPN, create a couple of accounts, and let you all log into it and start playing with microchip and start creating LLMs. I don't know. I decided if I was gonna make this a class, or just trying to get a general idea how it works. But that's what I was looking at. And Jerome, you said nothing wrong with that. Now, speaking of your LLM, I mean of your AI data, of your AI joint, I was looking at Meta's LLMs, and I was thinking about installing them. I actually went through and got some. I was doing this yesterday. I may do it. I think it's this one. Uh, Working with LLM 3.2 at the edge. So I don't know. I may do it. I may still do it, right? But this is how you can learn to do all of this for free. But you need to come up with use cases for it. What does it look like, and go from there. Let me let me see. Let me see if I can bring up what I had up earlier. Give me 1 second, and let me see if I can. I should be logged in. Um, Let me go here. Give me one hot second. Um, oh, that's not what I want. I'm in my Red Hat account, and I'm trying to pull up this class. They won't let me do it on that one. Let me see if I can do this one. Yeah, they won't let me do it. It's only I think you gotta have the partner. I mean the other classes to do it. Let me look and see. Um Let me do this. What I'm doing is I'm in my partner portal just to see if I can find microshift. And the ones that I did find, um it wouldn't let me launch. You see right here, just give me details. That's because you need to sign up for the portal. I mean the learning subscription. These classes I can log into whatever the case may be. Like if I went over here to open shift, and you can see edge, they don't have nothing edge right there. And let me get rid of that. So architect and virtualization, so forth, so on. So we'll see. I'm gonna play around with this a little bit more to come up with what I feel will be beneficial to you all. It may go on the Monday shows, but one of the reasons why I'm bringing all these up is because, again, we got Oracle, Google Cloud announcing new data centers across Canada and Asia. Um, Here's SpaceX team building faster, cheaper hypersonic missiles. Again, how they're using data to do that, right? Meta turns to solar for its data center building boom. Got to keep them GPUs cool. We talked about that. I talked about this NVIDIA stuff. Last but not least, um, last but not least, and while I'm here, let me go here and power. Let me see if I can get in it first, and then I'll power it down. I should be able to get into it first. Yeah. All right. So I'm in it. We can do. So this is real 8. I didn't choose. I didn't. I thought I chose 9, but I guess I didn't. Um, and we clear this and do a yum update, which should pull from their repos. And then I could take this if you had a Red Hat account with what you call it, you can put you can register this back with Red Hat subscription if you don't want to use their subscription, even though you pay for it. But you can go back and register with their subscription, with your Red Hat subscription, your free subscription, and then go from there. I think we did that. I did this maybe probably like a year ago. We were playing around with this to get it ready. So again, it's downloading from Ready Code Ready Linux Builder. That's what they got it with. Then you can see they got the Google Compute Engine and whatever. So it's gonna take a minute to update. But this is on Rail 8. I can do Rail 9 as well too. I can go in and do Rail 9. I also have a GPU on here. Because I told it to give me a GPU. What I don't know off the top of my head, oh yeah, I guess I can do that. I was like, how do I find out what GPU is available? So when this gets done, we're gonna run a command to see what GPU is available. I can do LSPCI, but there's another one that'll tell you what GPU is available. So right now it's doing this update for AppStream and Base OS. It's also got the code ready that is subscribed to for Rail 8. You've already paid for a license. When you spin up in these clouds, you already paid for a license as well. So it's got a couple of more that is a hitch too. So I'm gonna let it do its thing, and I'm gonna answer questions over here. 4.0 is better training and inference platform. Yeah, but I need it at the edge though. I need it at the edge. Okay, so now it's telling me over here that here are my updated firmware things that I need to update, my Google Cloud stuff, Pearl, and so forth. So I'm just gonna say yes. It's probably gonna take about 5 minutes, if that. So now it's gonna get them cached into the RPM database, and then it's gonna start the install of those. Download them and install them. All right. So what are we learning today? Today, to sum it up, it's always haters out there. Next one is there are people try to block you. The other one is we don't worry about titles, we worry about what it's gonna pay. And I understand titles do matter when it comes to pay bands, but I just showed you I guess while this doing this thing, I can show you some of those jobs that I showed you. Let's go over here to Dice. I like Indeed and Dice. I like a lot of platforms, but I use a lot of them. But let's go here. Let's get rid of that. Let's do principal dev sec ops. And then let's put, and I only want it to show me jobs paying. Let's push the limit. It probably ain't gonna come up with nothing with 400,000. I'm just gonna push the limit. Okay, so I just pushed the limit. So information technology, 380 to 450. It don't say senior, it don't say principal, it don't say chief, right? This individual will be responsible for driving growth in Resolute's commercial operations. And that's the one that it came up with at 400. So let's click on it. It's in Cali. You'll be working with the COO, the CEO, leadership team, helping with their go-to-market strategy. CEO, then develop Resolute strategic direction in collaboration with the teams. Notice that you're not hands on keyboard when you're sometimes up at these levels. That's another big thing. You got to figure out if you want to stay technical or if you want to go into leadership, because really you'll be driving and coming up with plans to move forward versus hands on keyboard. And you got to figure out which one you want to be. So, in order to be in leadership and not be technical, you're going to have to find your own ways to be technical. All right. So, now let's go back. Oh, yeah, I did 300 there. Let's go. All right. So, now we see here they're hiring multiple candidates for this. Senior business funding specialist, Oracle Cloud infrastructure remote, subject matter expert. Again, enterprise, it says from 122. Senior director of engineering at DigitalOcean, right? And then you could take these numbers up here or these titles and play with them. So let's do principal Linux sysadmin. All right. Off the rip, a $10,000 sign-on bonus, hybrid work, a cloud engineer, vice president from 155 to 185, enterprise architect. It says your federal senior cloud architect. Notice how the cloud come up when I type in Linux administrator, because you're gonna need to know something about cloud at some point, right? So then you can get rid of this title right here, and you can put in $200 and then hit enter there, and then it'll bring you the jobs that's 200, or at least should be in the range of 200, right? It looks like it stopped right here with this one, with government contract, government. On it, limit my search by city there. That's what that is. So now let me go above 145. Let me do only remote. All right, here we go. That looks better. All right. Oracle Cloud, DevOps engineer, 140, 150, senior architect, cornerstone. Right. Splunk, 200 to 240. If I type in Elasticsearch, it'll be the same. If I go to NVIDIA and all these other places, the pay changes. You say when you purchase the Google in advance and utilize the cloud, do you know if you also get professional domain? Yeah, you can apply to get your domain name on there. You can get your domain name. What would you say would be the challenge happening between technical and I think the biggest challenge is in leadership is being able to stay technical. But let me say it this way: stay technical and in practice every day. Right, hands on keyboards every day. You don't get a chance to do that because you're in meetings, you're running over here trying to figure out something, what's next, what people are doing, so forth and so on. All right. Like you doing leadership for X amount of years. But that's why I say you always got to stay in practice. You always got to stay opening up a command line. You always got to stay opening up and walking through steps and so forth. All right. So now we have this it finished the install of the RPMs. And so now let's see if we can let's see if this command is there. Yeah, okay, so clear. So now let's do ls show ls hw. It say numeric, but I think I gotta replace numeric. No, okay. So right here it tells me, it shows, and D don't have it on the screen. Right here it shows now let me show you the command I ran. Let me clear it again. So this shows that Tesla T4, the NVIDIA Corporation, 64 bits, what version it is, and so forth. And you can start manipulating how you want that GPU to work and so forth. You can start manipulating that. You just gotta know what you're doing. And you can take, that's where those classes, the free classes, come in to play for, right? So I went to Google Cloud, I selected a GPU, I selected the Red Hat operating system. I don't know what kernel I'm running, so I'm gonna do a uname -a here. I'm running kernel 4.8 4.180 -553. We know from going to kernel.org, right? The latest kernel was 6.13. So if I want something fancy, I will have to go download this new kernel, stable 6.13.1, and install it on here. And again, Red Hat, it's always going to be behind kernel wise because they want compatibility with the actual hardware. But it's on you. If you update, then that's on you. That's on you. With a project manager degree will get you in the door to apply for. Yeah, I mean, you go in as a project manager and go into a leadership role. That's not hard to do. But if you want to stay technical, you will have to have some technical chops there. All right, so let's go back over here. Now we know what kernel we got on here. There's just different things that you can do. If I want to find out how many RPMs I got on here, I can do RPM-QA, pipe that over to word count minus L, because it's gonna count line by line, and it's gonna output a number here for me. So I got 429 RPMs on here. If I clear my screen and then I just do RPM-QA, it's gonna spew out all the RPMs that are listed on here, and you can see that tuned RPM that I need is on here. You see that already there. All right, you see that there. All right. Another thing you can do with this art, with this you don't need a GPU for this. In fact, I'm gonna say do not install a GPU for this. But their RH024 class from Red Hat, that is free. I would implore you to go through this right here and spin up a instance on the cloud and go through it on the cloud instance. That just, if you don't have a VM and all that stuff, if you don't have VMware or VM Fusion, or you don't want to install it, you don't have the capacity to install it. It says introduction to the shell. There is a shell environment variable. If I hit echo and then double tap, it's going to show me all the environment variables there. In particular, there's a shell environment variable. So if I just type in echo shell, it's going to tell me that my shell has been bashed. This is how we, this is our baseline things that we use, but there are different shells. There's a corn shell, a C shell, a T shell, a Z shell, and they all do different things, and they people use them for different stuff. Kernel and you and your and user spaces. I showed you the kernel. In this video, they'll get into kernel and user spaces. You won't get the graphical user interface on here because it is in the cloud. However, you can install the graphical user interface on here and actually log into the graphical user interface. It takes some work, but you can do it. It's actually possible. You can set it up and install it on there. Bring the machine back up, install VNC, and then VNC, open up VNC ports on your actual on your firewall, and then VNC and have a graphical user interface for your actual machine, right? Out in the cloud if you wanted to. If you wanted to. Next one is they talk about file management and the file system hierarchy. If we clear, and now I'm going to make this bigger here. And I am now going to do a ls minus ls on slash. You can see I have different colors, but basically I have different sim links, soft links, and I have directories or folders. If you are in Windows, shortcuts would be sim links in Linux, and folders will be directories in Linux. Right. So on the Windows side, you have folders. On the Linux side, there are directories. On the Windows side, you got shortcuts. On the Linux side, you got symlinks. That's what these are. Now, how do I know what's a symlink? If I did a minus LL on slash here, I'll see that I have a link right here that's pointing over to user lib64 pointing to user lib64, and bin pointing to user bin, and sbin pointing to user sbin. So this is how I know that there's sim links. There are soft links, and another way I can tell is just the L right here that's over here. And I don't know why it's not highlighting for me anymore, but yeah, it's not highlighting. But over here, I have this L that's on to the far left where you don't know if you see my mouse moving here. But if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up, the seventh one is an L. That's how I know that this is a symbolic link. That's how I can tell. There's a difference between directories and files, and we can do that really quickly. We'll clear, and I'll do a ls here, ls minus, ls on that. On the root directory, I do make dir slash tam, and if I do a ls on slash again, you'll see now I have a directory. Make dir means make directory, and then I did a ls to give me a long listing of this. But when I do a ls minus l, I'm giving a long listing of everything. Oh, sorry, on slash. I'm giving a long listing there. So clear. And then if I want to make a file, I can do touch tam.text. And if I do a ll here, you'll see that I have what was that? Come back. Oh, where's my tam.text? Oh, right there in my root directory. That's what it is. I didn't make it at the higher level. So I do a ls minus l. Notice there's no D in the front or no L in the front. So that's how I know this is a text file. And it has the permissions of 644, R being 4, W being 2. If it was an executable here or X right here, it would be 1. So that I know 4 plus 2 is 6. So basically R equals to 4, W equals to 2, and X equals to 1. So I don't have a R. I only have an R and W here. So 4 and 2 is 6. I only have R here and R here. So I only got one. I mean, I only have R and R. So that's 644. So that's how I come up with that. All right. I'm a Veeam person. So if you want to know, and I'm not gonna remove RM dash RF, Sam. You can forget about it. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed the show today. I'm 9 minutes over. I knew I was gonna probably go a little longer than expected. But when it comes down to your training, I showed you the free classes from NVIDIA. I'm going to pull up the free classes from Intel next week. And next week we'll probably have a live training session lab, and it's just going to be something really really simple. Just hey, here is Kubernetes install on the cloud, and then go from there. And then we'll look at installing an LLM in our Kubernetes cluster, and we'll start playing around with different things and going from there. I may move this to a Monday show. I don't know. I talked to D on it. She'll be like, you should put this behind the firewall. They need to be getting paid for this. But yeah. So hopefully this was made sense to you all. Don't forget to go take a math class every now and again just to stay abreast. Go read up on some stuff. And have fun in life. Life is too short, and we need to make all the money we can. Oh yeah, and don't forget to donate to the cause. We appreciate y'all for those that did donate today. Mr. Nix, we appreciate your 2025 super chat. And those that that always come here and never say anything and just watch. I'm gonna make it do what it do. Yeah. All right.